Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to Let's Play Gold Rush for Sierra Saturday. I'm Ollamh, and as you can tell, the grass...
Your keen eye has noticed that the plains are growing greener every day. The mud is beginning...
Okay, so the mud is beginning to dry, and the grass is the grass is starting to get greener, which means it's perfect time to leave. I think that
it's time to head west.
Yes.
Okay, men. Our scout Jared has determined that it is time to break camp and head west. Let's hitch him up and move him out.
Absolutely. Because, yes, that means that...
It is 2,100 miles to California, but after only a few miles, your company, and every other company heading west, realizes that the wagons are too heavy. You begin what will be the start of a continual process. Lightening the wagons. The traffic is very heavy leaving Independence. There must be hundreds of wagons, usually pulled by 6 to 8 mules or oxen on the trail. The trails become deeply rutted, making passage difficult. Wagon axles break. Wheels fall off. Wagons sink up to their axles in mud. If they cannot be pulled out, they're abandoned. 45 miles down the trail forks. To the south is the Santa Fe Trail. To the north, the Oregon-California Trail.
History!
Very few take the southern route. It isn't long before the first Indians are encountered. The first Indians encountered
I really
are the
should have
Shawnee
probably
and Potawatomis.
saved.
Much to the surprise of most travelers, and disappointment of some, they are very friendly and helpful. Crossing
Yeah, as
the
long as you're
Kansas
not
River.
an ass.
You are now approaching the land of the Pawnee Indians. This is the tribe of Indians that is most feared by the travelers. It is necessary to keep a keen watch at all times.
All right,
The plains
so...
teem with buffalo. Herds of them stretch as far as the eye can see. Wildlife is extremely abundant, but the traveling masses do little to preserve their surroundings as they make haste to the west. While traveling the trail, you find those who have gone before you have left a trail of litter and garbage. If there was no trail, you would have hardly noticed. You could just follow the trash. It's a sad sight.
Ah, yes.
Also along the way, you find discouraged travelers heading back home in their wagons. The first major milestone is Fort Kearny. It was recently built by the U.S. Army to attempt to keep peace between the Pawnee and Sioux Indians. Travelers
Massive
look
history
forward to
lesson.
Fort Kearny for various reasons. Some just want a place to mail letters. Others are interested in how many others have passed before them. Leaders want information on the condition of the trail ahead.
So yes, we are doing well.
The trail is wide and easy to traverse. The Platte River provides an
That's
ample
because we
supply of
left at the
water.
right time.
Between Fort Kearny and Fort Laramie, the company should average 17 miles per day.
If
The
you
upward
leave too
slope is
early,
so
you
gentle
will
that
sink.
the
Your
animals barely
wagons
feel
keep
the grade.
sinking.
Discarding those unnecessary items in Fort Kearny really paid off. The captain advises the rest of the company that this will be the easiest part of your trip, so you'd better enjoy it.
If we leave too late, the
Due
oxen
to the lack
starve.
of wood to burn for fires, the common fuel substitute is buffalo chips. They burn well if they're dry.
Pooh!
If they're damp, they smoke a lot. If they are wet, they are next to fireproof. One of the main obstacles between you and Fort Laramie is the crossing of the South Platte River. What makes this crossing so difficult is that the riverbed is like quicksand. The trail ahead will take the company by the most prominent landmarks of the trek, and also of the West.
All right. So yeah, there's a lot
Hollow,
of...
Courthouse Rock, Chimney Rock. All along the way, the wagons have been getting
Yeah,
lighter.
see,
But
there's
climbing the gentle slopes of the North Platte,
all
your captain
this-
finds it's
this-
necessary to lighten the load even more. The captain also takes note of the need to increase the care given to the animal teams. There is much tough terrain ahead.
Yes, yes,
Fort
yes.
Laramie
Okay.
is
Oh,
another military
jeez, there's
station
so
along
much
the way that
dialogue
weary
here.
travelers long to reach. Once they arrive, many meet with great disappointment. They're unable to acquire many of the articles they desperately need, such as fresh animals to replace those that have died along the way, or those that will not last much longer. You could have all the money in the world, and it would be useless. They just aren't available.
So yes, we are, this is like months and months.
Leaving Fort Laramie, the scenery changes abruptly. From the gentle slopes of the plain, you're now traveling on the sandy, steep trails heading into the hills called the Black Hills because of the dense growth of juniper and pine.
Okay, that's nice. Can we just... Can
It
we...
is now obvious
Oh,
that many
God.
wagons on the trail are still extremely
There's nothing for me to
overloaded,
do!
and they have been abandoning all unnecessary items in mass quantities. Abandoned articles consisting of bacon, sugar, camp equipment,
Bacon!
cooking utensils, clothes, household furniture,
Bacon!
stoves, gridirons, carpenter's tools, blacksmith anvils, crowbars, drills, augers, gold washers, chisels, axes, trunks, spades, plows, large grindstones, baking ovens,
Whoa,
kegs, and
jeez,
barrels
okay.
hot everywhere.
Do you
One
have to give us a
company,
full
once in the Black
frickin'
Hills,
list?
finally discarded an entire sawmill they planned to operate in California. Anything of any value
Wow.
that was discarded was usually ruined in some way so that successive travelers would not be able to use the item. As for your
'Cause they're
company,
dicks.
the captain orders that every item that isn't essential to the trip must be discarded, no matter how small. The letter from your long-lost brother Jake was in your hip pocket,
Good.
along with a gold flake under the stamp.
Good.
So that is still with you. The company decides to allow you to keep the Bible, just in case someone needs it later.
Yeah.
Everything else is thrown from the wagon beside the trail.
Wait, even my
The only
pick
way
and
to
shovel?
cross the North Platte River is by ferry.
You
A line
cocks!
of wagons waiting to cross the river sometimes reaches 20 miles in length. Impatient
me.
companies cut down trees and make their own rafts for their wagons. The scenery changes once again. The landscape is barren and dotted with sagebrush. This desert-like region has a few widely scattered ponds, most of which are poisonous pools of alkaline water. It is a gruesome sight to see the result of one of your animals partaking of the poison.
So this is where the
Surrounding these
mature
alkaline
oxen
ponds,
come in
The
handy.
sagebrushes are outnumbered only by animal carcasses.
Because the
It is a
young
welcome
oxen would
relief to
not
pass from
survive
the alkaline
that.
territory into the region of the Sweetwater River, where the water is just that, sweet.
Yeah, the
At
young
west
oxen
end
would
of
not
the
survive
Sweetwater
the
Valley,
desert.
The trail crossed a broad plateau to South Pass, the halfway point of your cross-country trek. A short break from the seemingly never-ending toil of crossing the country is taken at South Pass to celebrate reaching the halfway point of your journey, which coincides with the Continental Divide. You are now on the Pacific side of the Rockies.
Yay!
Your wagon train is
Jesus,
now
I think this
entering
one's
an
just
arid
gonna be-
stretch of land.
it's just
It
gonna
will
be
50
traveling.
miles before every container is filled to the brim with the life-giving water.
Okay.
The
so
trail
it's-
across this desolate wasteland.
Okay, so maybe
is
that's
strewn
where the
with
young
dead
oxen
The
die.
animals,
I don't know.
as well as you, are parched and desperately in need of water. During this section of the trail, the going gets tough. There are no rivers going your direction to follow. It is just seemingly endless miles of gravel, rocks, sand, dust, steep. As difficult as it is to keep
we
going,
get it.
You have to keep those. The captain bellows a command, and the animal team comes to a halt.
All right,
You're at the top of the steep hill overlooking the Green River.
so we're gonna save. We're just gonna go ahead and save it as Green River. All right, so what we need to do is we need to
That's a brilliant idea.
Let
As
the
thirsty as
oxen
those animals
loose.
are, they would have pulled the wagon along with everyone inside over the edge of this steep hill.
Yeah, so that lets them go down and get a drink of water without the wagon. Now, the wagon wheels, we don't want them to turn. We want it to kind of slide down. So we have to actually
When the
lock...
oxen return, refreshed and ready to go, you assist in hitching the wagon.
All right, now we need to lock
Using
the
your Yankee
wagon.
ingenuity, you
Lock
put the
the
chains
wheels.
through the wagon wheels
Yes.
to keep the wheels from turning. It looks like the company is ready to attempt the steep hill. The wagon starts moving, so you courageously get on. Things are
Yes.
looking good.
All right.
You are responsible for saving the animal team, the wagon, and the lives of your fellow company members. You are to be commended.
Yay! We did good! After like freaking 9-10 minutes of just hearing this guy drone on. And basically, if the wheels were free, the wagon would start rolling down faster than the oxen are pulling it and wind up pushing them and wind up like off to the side and getting dashed against the rocks there and everything. So Now, if we had chosen the mules, the Indians would have attacked us to steal the mules. If we had chosen the young oxen would not have made it through the desert because they weren't trained properly. Therefore, that's why we chose them. That's why the mature oxen are the best choice.
The trail gets slightly easier for a few miles as you follow the Bear River.
All right.
Here, the trail forks. The southern route is called...
We're going to just kind of bypass some of this, some of the dialogue.
Fort Hall, the company follows the...
Because, I mean, there's just so much information here.
Two pointed columns. It is a relief for your captain to see this...
And while I do appreciate education and stuff like that...
From steeple rocks...
I mean, we will be sitting here for the full episode listening to him ramble on if we don't
the Humboldt River supplied water
bypass
to people
some
and
of
animals
this.
passing by. There are now other factors to... Fatigue is taking its toll on people and animals who must walk day after day after... There were also Diggers Indians of the Shoshone and Paiute tribes. The diggers steal and kill the precious oxen or mules possessed by the traveling. Gold seekers who have lost their animals are also resorting to...
Yeah. What are you gonna do? If your animals die, you die.
Requiring another decision on the part of your captain. The choices are the Lassen Captain Buddy decide...
Okay, I'm assuming that's the right one. So we're now in Nevada.
You, along with everyone else in the company, are now beginning to wonder why Captain Buddy selected the Truckee route. It takes you directly through a deadly desert, while the Lassen Cutoff avoids the desert completely. It's too late to go back.
All right, so we're going to have another mini encounter here.
Encountered an early winter storm. Just the thought of it sends chills up and down your spine.
All right, so yes,
You are suffering unless you do. Your company... There's sand all over this. From here...
All right, so yes, we have to go up to this abandoned wagon and drink some water and eat some meat.
You drink all the water that remains in the water barrel. But you still need something to eat, or you will surely die.
Yes, and there was meat right here.
The meat looks repulsive, but you're so hungry, you eat every bite. Now you must try to catch up with your company.
All right, so we made it. We caught up with them, and we just went through the middle of a lake, two lakes.
Once you reach the Sacramento Valley, you get word from travelers who took Lassen's Cutoff that the terrain was formidable. Perhaps Captain Buddy did make the wise decision. You also learn that the U.S. Army, in an attempt to prevent another catastrophe which would dwarf that of the Donner Party, has sent rescue teams to help those men, women, and children still on the trails in the Sierras.
So, you don't have all 106 points. Don't give up. You have 92 out of 106. Well, I didn't get some of the stuff at the very beginning, so yeah, I'm going to be off by a little bit. I don't know what else I was supposed to do, or if yeah, I'm not a whole, I have to get 100% of all the points, yes. So, here we are at Fort
You're on the south side of Sutter's Fort.
Sutter's
There's a
Fort.
road in front of Sutter's Fort that follows the American River to the town of Cologne.
All right, so we need to go to the fort, and I think this is the open part of the fort, yes. So yes, here we are at Fort Sutter, which, if I remember right...
January 25th, 1848. Jared, this letter is of great importance, as you will find. I live in the area drained by the American River. Today, I buried Pa in the nearby cemetery. Only you will understand.
So, yes, I think that was basically kind of, I don't know the history of Fort Sutter or anything like that. Wow, okay. Oh, okay. I was gonna say, I'm like, whoa, dude, is that place on fire? Oh, geez, I'm remembering bits and pieces of this now. It's like, okay, so we need to buy a mule and brand it.
The Roaring Fire.
We need to buy a mule and brand it and then switch it with a different mule that has the same brand. I'm surprised that there aren't more people in the blacksmith.
Hello.
Can't you see, man, that I'm as busy as a one-armed paper hanger with an itch?
No.
Excuse me, I best be getting back to my work.
Okay.
Hold on there, son. You ain't from the parts around, say, New York, would you be?
Yes.
Right.
You wouldn't be from Brooklyn, would you?
Yeah.
Yes, right.
Your last name ain't by chance, darn it,
Wilson.
yeah, that's it.
Wilson!
And, your first name wouldn't be,
Jeez, this guy is forgetful. It's Jared.
That's it. And, you got a brother named, dang burn it?
Jeez, this guy's got a memory like a sieve.
Jake.
Well, I'll be. I can't believe it. Lean over here, young fella, and listen to me close.
Okay.
I can't be talking too loud about this kind of thing.
Right.
I got a message for you from your brother.
Okay.
I ain't got no notion of his whereabouts. All I got is a message.
What's the message?
He wants you to know that in these parts, he's known as, James. That's it, James.
Wow, he actually
James
remembered a
left
name.
his trusty mule for you in the fort's main corral.
Right.
He said it would help you find him.
Okay.
He also gave me this. Ain't got no idea what it's for, but he wanted me to give it to you.
The soot-covered blacksmith hands you a branding iron.
Aha! Yes, so now we have the branding iron of a horseshoe and a key, and that's basically we have to get a mule and, no, save, thank you. Save branding iron in Sutter's Fort. So basically the idea behind this is we get a mule, we brand the mule with this, and that mule's going to be lazy and slow. And the mule that we want is energetic. So when we go to the corral, we drop off our mule in the corral. There'll be 2 mules with that same brand on it. So we go and we get the energetic mule with that brand. We take it out. The guy looks at it, says, okay, yep, that was the same brand as you came in with. No problem. And then that mule will lead us to the mine that Jake has. Now we do need to go and find the gravestone, the gravestone and the letter and all that stuff. We need to find some gold. We sell the gold flake in order to get like one item that will allow us to mine for gold. But that is going to have to wait until next week because we are all out of time. As always, thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned for more from Ollamh Productions.
If you wanna see
Cheerio! The Trump has infected more people in the world than the common cold. It is the ultimate infectious disease. That is so close to the truth. It's
Hello there, everybody. Barfoot West and Kensington III here yet again. And today I wanted to talk to you about the idea of certain inalienable rights